Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm T with Teresa H Creates, and this is part 4 of our no-sew accordion binding junk journal. And this one is going to be a decorating video. Actually, the next few are probably going to be decorating videos. I'm trying to cut these up so they're not quite as long. We're going to play around today though and get some stuff done. Here are the supplies that I've gathered just so you've kind of got an idea of what I'm working with so you can pull your own stuff. I've just got a variety of stamps. I kind of wanted something that had this old-timey kind of feel that matched the kind of these papers here. So I pulled a bunch of stamps that I have in my collection. And we'll see if I use any of these today. Maybe next time. Maybe not at all. I don't know. We'll see which direction it goes. But I wanted to have them pulled out and ready. I've got my Misty ready to go. I've also pulled out some stencils. So here are the different stencils I've got. Most of them are these background stencils. These large background stencils. They're going to be nice for making images on these backgrounds. Look at these. Some of these are just little bits. This does not belong in there. Let me set that aside. This was actually a huge like floor or wall stencil. It was massive, and I just cut a section out of it. But I like that pattern. Maybe that butterfly. Maybe some of these butterflies I was thinking. I don't know. We'll see what direction it goes in. I've also got walnut stain. I've got 2 walnut stains. I have my backup walnut stain, black soot, and scorched timber. So I've got my inks ready. As far as stamping, if I do decide to stamp, I'll either stamp in the VersaFine Onyx Black or the VersaFine Claire Pine Cone. Those are kind of my go-to colors at the moment. All right. So let's see. In the last video, we ended with attaching one of these guys here. And so I'm not ready to quite decorate this yet, but I do want to go ahead and figure out what we're going to do with our other 2 sections. Let's go ahead and get something attached to those if I can find them. If I can find them, here we go. There's one. Here's the one that was at the end. And then, there we go. And here's the other. Let's go ahead and start with the middle one. And then this is what I've got to work with. So these are kind of my scraps. I pulled out that French dictionary. Like I said before, it was just really, really thin paper, fragile paper. I've still got these nice textured pieces. I did go ahead and remove some of the pages from my book. So I did remove some of these pages, and I just tore them out because they were already slit most of the way. I did go ahead and remove this guy so I can use it for something in the background as well if I wanted to. Okay. And then I've got this big bag. I've got this little bag. I've got this bag. I've got the braille. And then I've got these 2 images here to work with. All right, so we've got a bag here, and then we've got these 2 bags. Let's go ahead and do bags. Let's just do bags all the way across, okay? All right, sounds good to me too. Let me see. This is definitely crooked up here. Which, you know what? I don't mind. I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it. But this is my sleeve. So I could close off the bottom and attach it. Attach it here. And then it's a little bit longer, but that's fine because it'll stick out some, right? So that's fine. And I'm probably need to trim the bottom to even it off. And I don't know. I may trim that. I may not. I may leave it. Oh. Will it? It does. It does. Actually, it fits over that. Okay, never mind. I take that back. That's what we're going to do with it. So we're going to have a side pocket there with this bag. But I do need to make it shorter. All right, it does need to be shorter. Just a little bit. So we'll take off, what, about 1 inch? Let's take off about 1 inch and see what that does. All right, we took off about 1 inch. Let's see where that gets us. That's perfect. Perfect. Okay. I feel like before I lost it already. Okay, I feel like before I attach it though, I want to do something with it. So let's see. I'm really liking this stencil. This is kind of my go-to stencil at the moment. There we go. Let's do the scorched timber on this one and see what happens. Let me see. Let's do some down in here. And in this corner. Oh, I like that. That looks good. I do want something kind of in that center-ish spot. Let me go ahead and get this side while I've got everything out. That Scorched Timber is a new ink pad, but I don't feel like it's very juicy. May need to refresh it. There we go. Looks good. Looks really good. That was a good color choice. Okay. Now let's see if we can get something stamped on here. Give myself some working room. This is the front. It is going to go this direction. Everything is so crooked. What do we want stamped there? All these lovely stamps. Maybe just some images. Maybe one of those. Oh, maybe those. Maybe that. Maybe these guys. Well, let's stamp right across there. Actually, let's go ahead and do this. Let's try this and see what happens. Oh, look, it fits it perfectly. All right, I'm going to do it that direction. It fits perfect, so I feel like it was meant to be. Let's ink it up. It's one thing I love about these VersaFine stamps. They're pretty juicy, but they give really good stamped images. Usually first impression, you know, first stamp is usually a winner. I rarely have to go back and stamp a whole lot. Of course, that also says a lot about the quality of your stamp. Look at that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay. Do we want to stamp the other side as well? Maybe we'll put something different on the other side. My hands are going to get pretty gross. My fingers. I'm going to have inky fingers by the time this is all said and done. All right. Just fluff that up. And then I'm kind of thinking, what if we put something right in there? Right in here. I want to do this right here. Let's put that right there. I want to do that in the black because it's such fine lines. It's just going to be a little bit of something. I need to get one of those nice tools that you use to help press this down. Those little stamping tools. I don't always need one, but on occasion, you know, I have a wonky stamp or something, and then I feel like I need some extra pressure. I want to do this image over the top. We're not going to spend our whole time stamping, I promise. I just want to get these decorated before I get them in there, because it'll be incredibly difficult to do any kind of stamping once they're in the book. These are permanent. I won't be able to remove these like I do the others. The other signatures are temporary right now and I can remove those, but these I will not. These will be in there permanently, these little pockets. So, all right. That is gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I think I might maybe do something over here. Let me see. I'm going to close this up and set it aside. There we go. Look good? Looks good. Do something down here. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Let's give it a little bit of an inking and see what that does. Yeah, it looks good. I want this to be grungy. So adding all of these dark colors in here. Grunge it up. This looks good. Sorry, I'm a little bit quiet this morning. I am recording this early in the morning. I get up super early sometimes. I can't always sleep, and on most mornings I get up early and I come into my studio mostly because the ideas are kind of just buzzing around in my head and I need to do something about it. So got up early this morning and I still kind of have my concentration cap on this morning, so if I go quiet, that is it. I'm gonna go ahead and glue this down. Okay, let me get my book that I buried under all of this stuff. Okay, here we go. And we're going to fit it right in here. Let me get glue. On both sides here. Good coverage. And then this is actually going to be longer than that strip, so I am going to get glue also in here. I'm trying to keep it open because I don't want to glue it down prematurely. All right. Is that about, there we go, is that about center? I think so. Does it matter? Does it matter if it's about center or not? There we go. Gorgeous. And that is down. So again, once it's down, I can't take it out. So it is good. It is good and down. So let's go to the next one. Towards the end here, I think. There we go. I don't think there's a whole lot we need to do with this one. I'm going to ink up these edges, get it nice and grunged up. I may add some, I don't know, some ephemera stickers, something to cover up the thank you later, like a label or something. I'll probably do that. That'll come later when we're doing the final touches. I plan on adding quite a bit of like ribbon and fabric bits, so that will come then. All right, now something that I need to consider is, do I leave it so that it can open all the way? I do. I'm going to leave it so that it opens all the way. I was thinking about gluing down the sides, but I'm not going to. So this one will be super simple. I am just going to attach it here, and then there we go. And it sticks out about here and then down here as well. It's a little bit long. I don't want to trim the bottom though. I don't want to cut that. Bear's oil. Oh, I could fold it up though. How does that look? Yes, okay, that's actually better. So let's go ahead and fold this guy up. That is pretty thick on the bottom. I don't want to cut it off, but I think that I'm going to do some double-sided tape and some adhesive, wet adhesive, and glue that up. All right. Oh, you know what? Okay. So something to consider. I could put it here, right? Or I could actually put it in here like this and cover the whole thing. And I think that that's actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that. All right. Decision made. Once I have it on, I'll decide whether or not I want to glue it all the way up the side or not, or if I'm going to leave the bits that aren't attached to this, if I'm going to leave those open. So that is on there. See, and then I don't have to worry about doing anything on the back side of that, you know, to cover that. And then let's see. Oh, it looks great. Look, looks fantastic. You can't actually see it from the bottom now, but look at that. Okay, very happy with this. Looks good. And then you can still open it quite a bit. So perfect. All right. So now we've got all our little centerpieces done, other than doing some minor decorating. Let's see what else we've got that I want to mess with today. I think that I want to do something with those two images that I have, because I want to add them, but I'm not sure what I want to do with them yet. So let me go ahead and trim them down. Just take off the white borders. All right, I've got these trimmed down. Let's work with this one first. I think that I've got this butterfly stencil, and I think that I want to stencil something on here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that with this prepped. I'm still not sure how I'm going to use it. I'm kind of thinking maybe, let's do walnut stain on this one. I'm thinking of maybe creasing it down the center, folding it down the center, and maybe having it do a fold over, maybe. Oh, I've got this. You know what? This may not stay. I'll put it on here and I'll leave it. I forgot that I put that layer of Mod Podge over this, and so this may not actually stay. I'll have to give it a minute. Oh, that looks good. That looks really good. Let's do a little bit up here. And hopefully it'll stay once it dries. I hope. You know, I have all those stencil sticky mats and everything too. Do I use them? Hardly ever. Hardly ever. Usually I'm in too much of a hurry when I'm doing things that, you know, I don't think to use them. Do I want to round these corners? I do. I want to soften it up a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and round the corners. And I'm looking around. I know you can't see, but I'm trying to see if I can find I don't see my scoreboard. And I think because this is such a heavy duty kind of paper here, I'm going to need my scoreboard. Get my scorched timber out. There we go. I get some, or these corners really get up in there. All right, let's see. Next. All right, I did locate my scoreboard, so there's that. Now I've got to figure out how I want this to go, and if I want it to fold like in the center to reveal the picture, you know, if I want this to be on the outside or what. So I'm thinking, I think that that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have that on the outside, but I need something like this that's going to be a little bit strong. If I do a score here, right? So if I do a score mark there and I kind of hinge this and then score up here so that it folds over, then it would open up, right? Yes, yes. So I'm gonna make some tick marks. Let's do a 1-inch score approximately, and then let's bring it out at least to here. Okay. All right, moment of truth. Let's see how this goes. So I think that I had my score mark here. And then I wanted one, like a 1-inch. So let me actually put this down here. And I think this is about the 1-inch mark here. And then hopefully, yeah, I'm not losing any of that image. Okay. Why did I don't know how I managed to do that. It's like 2 score lines though. So I scored it and then, I don't know what I did. Goodness, I'm a bit of a mess, people. Let's go to the outside line. All right, and then this is just for hinging purposes here. There we go. So let's see if this works. So the idea is that I would attach this here and then it would hinge. When I was doing this, I could have sworn that I did it further over, but I guess not. Okay, so we would do this and then attach it here, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out and then put this back in. Since I'm working with that guy, it'll be easier to do without having to manage the whole book, you know. Let me set this aside. And then let's look at this guy. Okay, before I attach this, let me make sure I know what I'm doing with this. I'm going to go ahead and fold this over so that just stays down. And then, okay, so this is going to be a side pocket. And then I think I can create a side pocket here if I want, but I think I kind of want a top pocket here. So I am going to snip just a tad. Let's just a little snip, and then I'm going to just trim this edge off. I don't want to trim a lot more and make it too loose over here. Let me just go down a tad. Oh no. All right, since I've already cut this here, let me make a not so straight line across here. I just want to bring it down a little bit, you know, so that there's kind of a lip to this, the separation, so that it's obvious that it's a top pocket. Even though it is horribly, horribly crooked. All right, I think that that's better. Okay, then I'm telling you, at some point there is going to be a serious craft and lynch over here. Okay, I think that I'm going to go ahead and glue this little closure right here, this little bit. Just so that it stops right there. Yeah. I'm gonna get some down here. Okay. That's better. That feels better. Can always put some washi or something up there. Let me go ahead and ink up these edges. So pretty. All right. Need to get this side over here. It's a whole look, but I know I can get that later. Okay. Let's go ahead and attach it. The only thing that I need to consider is, do I want to put, I do want to put something there. I'm going to do this in the scorched timber. I'm going to do some over here as well, because I think, you know, once it folds out, it's going to be visible. A lot of this background will be. And I've got this on here crooked, so this pattern will be crooked. But that's the way we roll. I mean, it's grungy. You can't tell, right? You can't tell. Don't tell me if you can. I don't want to know. All right. I'm going to put one of these guys up here. And I kind of want to do it in like a gradient. So I'm doing a little bit darker up at the top and the bottoms of the wings. And then kind of lighter in the center, not pressing as hard. We'll just go kind of light. Yep. Looks good, looks good. Okay. Let's go ahead and apply our tape. and up here. So we'll do a combination of tape and double-sided tape and glue on this one to keep it down. And then watch me struggle with the peeling. Peel. And then a lot of glue. All right. Now to make sure that I get it placed just right, since it is going to be right here near this pocket opening. So that looks good. There we go. Perfect. Now I've got this guy, and I'm not sure. I could do something similar with it so it folds out, because I don't want to lose a lot of that imagery, you know? And do it. I'd have to cut quite a bit of this off if I want to keep it intact, though. What if, you know those sliding cards? What if we did something like that, like created a pocket and then this, you know, moved in and out? But I would have to completely move it over unless I did it this way. Okay, let's try it. Let's try it and see. Ah, moment of truth. I'm going to go ahead and cut it like right there where his hands are. Well, that's done. So there you go. So that goes there. And then if I trim a little bit off the sides, that will slide into there. Yes. And I would just trim a tad bit. I think I'm going to take some off the bottom here though, just so that it sits a little bit lower. Yes. Yeah. Let's give it an ink. See, and we covered this, and I'm not even going to use it. Oh, but I will with the top one. I will with the top one, so it's not a big deal. Okay. So that will go there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. I'm going to put a little bit more on the bottom, a little bit more glue on the bottom, but I am going to do a thin amount on the sides because I want as much of that picture to slide in, that image, as possible, because I don't want to lose a bunch of stuff off the top, you know? All right, this is the right way. I didn't do anything with that background. That's okay. I mean, I can always stencil something on there if I wanted to, right? Yes. Okay. So then in order to slide this down in there, I'm going to take a little bit off here. Oh, okay. I'm going to take about a 1/4 inch off each side. How cute is that? That's too cute. Okay. I am going to round the corners of this. And I'm going to ink this up around the edges on the outside and inside. that. All right, let me get some good ink on this side. Then I can always come through and add some collage or something. I really thought that it would be a nice writing space though, so. It's not grungy enough for me. I inked those edges, but I really want it grunged up. Okay. There we go. There we go. And that will go right in there. I feel like I'll have like a little tab or something there. And then I feel like I'll probably create maybe something that'll go across here. We can always put labels or something on here. So there's plenty of decorating still to do with this one. But let's go ahead and put it back in our book. I don't remember where I got it from. That would have been helpful. Was not this one. I think it was this one. We're gonna say it was this one. All right. I was gonna say, where did my paper strip go? All right. There we go. Okay. So there we go. We have got, look at this. And of course, all of this will get decorated up, but we've got our little images that come off this side here. And we created a nice big pocket on that side. And then, where's our other? We've got this guy. We'll put something here. And then our other little guy, not to be forgotten. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We did quite a bit. So I am going to continue doing the same exact thing to most of the rest of this. I'm going to use my stencils that I showed you, and I'm going to ink all of these edges and get them nice and distressed. I'm going to lay down different stencil patterns. I might do some stamping and whatnot. And then in the next one, we'll kind of finish off the little details, I think, and then maybe add some lace bits or trim, something to give it some texture. Yes. And then our final video, I guess so it's going to be 6 parts, maybe 7. We'll be putting the cover on and then a flip through. And I don't know if I'll combine the cover and flip through together, if I'll do those in separate videos. But if you have any questions for me, put them down in the comments. Let me know how it's going. If you're creating along with me, I would love to get some feedback. Thanks for spending some time with me, and until next time, bye.